How to dominate your boss. I repeat, how to dominate your boss. I'm going to give you 10 tips on how you can exactly do that. Are we together? That's the topic. How to dominate your boss. By the way, this does not mean for the bad. I don't mean that you go there and no. I mean in a decent way. Are we together? The point number one. And by the way, if you're watching this video, this is good, Joseph. My pen is not working with me. Let me try a different pen. If you're watching this video for the first time, make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure that you subscribe and turn the notification bell on so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new good video. Let's get on the business now. Point number one, talk less. Talk less. Listen, if you want to dominate, when I say dominate, I mean be respected, is when you talk less. Avoid this issue of talking a lot. You talk a lot. When you ask a question, you're talking. Don't, please avoid. Be this cool guy reserved somewhere doing your task as tasked. You do it, you talk less, talk when necessary. When asked a question, you talk. When not, there's no question. When interacting with your fellow guys, just be a reserved individual. Listen more than you're talking. That's why you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen more than you talk. That way it respects you. But when you overtalk, that is when you actually say things that are not necessary. I think this point can go with the second point is don't over explain. You know, there's a somewhere where you can be asked a question and then you're over explaining yourself. Now the question was in terms of yes or no. And then you're over explaining yourself. In the process of explaining yourself, you are actually uncovering some of the weaknesses. And by the way, if you're ever going to look for a visa, you know, for whichever the country, and they tell you, or they ask you a question, are you working? Don't be like, yes, I was, but no, please, are you working? No. Okay. Because the moment you start saying something, you can up saying, don't over-explain. You have been asked a question. Hey, hello, sir. By the way, I realized that your department, there is a sort of a glitch or a problem. Where did it come from? Sure. That's very true. We had a problem because 1, 2, 3 happened. And you simply pause from there. Then they ask, how are you planning to resolve that? True, good. We've already actually applied the right mechanisms because we've called so and so and actually repairing that. Don't over-explain yourself. Are we together? Don't talk much, don't over-explain yourself, but give the appropriate answer. The other question or the other part that can actually help you to dominate your boss on a positive manner is when you actually show confidence. Show confidence, all right? Show confidence. Show confidence. And by the way, please be very careful when you're showing confidence. You know, there are people who show confidence, but they don't know they're actually being arrogant. The way you are walking, you know, please, when you're showing confidence, you're showing whatever you are saying, you're confident about it. You're explaining yourself. How can you show confidence? Is by when you look at their eyes straight. Of course, don't look intimidating to them, of course, because bosses, the moment they realize that you're actually kind of dominating them in a way, they usually do what? They can even fire you because you're actually a threat. You might actually behave so and you take their position. So they are there. So when you're showing the confidence, of course, with respect, you know, don't have these constant eyes looking at their elbows like threat. You just look at them confidently, especially when you're answering the question. Then you can turn a little bit, then go back to them, turn a little bit, go back to them, but you're showing confidence. Have that confidence deep inside of you. It helps a lot. But then we go there emaciated with a very low demeanor and what have you, as if you actually, you see, the reason why you find people actually manipulated, when you actually are being employed, there is a contract that you sign. You are told you are an HR, you are this in what department. There are some tasks that are actually outlined in that particular paper. You are supposed to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you show this demeanor, like you can be manipulated, be controlled, you can be tasked to do anything. Then you had 7 tasks. Now today you're actually working with 10 tasks. You don't even know what you actually employed for. Even a cooker can send you anywhere, you know. Even you can be like, you don't even know what you are. This is because you're not demarcating. You're not telling them, hey, this is what I was employed for. And by the way, let me tell you one secret. Though I know this one may be a bit tough, I used it. For me, I'm telling you, for me, I'm this kind of a guy. I respect that what you've told me. You've told me to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Agreed? Agreed. Fine. That's what I'm going to do. If you tell me to do some other things, approach me with respect, by the way. I know what you'll be like, oh, Joseph, if I do that, I'm going to lose my job. At times when you show some signs that you're kind of ready to lose it, that is actually when you don't even lose it because you're showing that confidence. But the moment you show that demeanor and what have you, and the moment now you reach to a point whereby you realize that the task is too much than what you actually applied for, and you're trying to raise the hand and talk, or raise their head and talk, that's the time now you realize you've rubbed shoulders and you can even get fired. Well, that one is a bit tricky, but if you can know how to use it, it's the best thing that you can ever apply and can help you a lot. Another thing is actually be opinionated. Okay, have an opinion. Be opinionated. Be opinionated. Opinionated. Meaning, in simple terms, just have an opinion. You're in a boardroom, everyone has been called for a meeting, then a question has been raised, like da 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 da. You are there. Every time you say no comment, no comment, that shows that there is a problem. I mean, for God's sake, you've been working in this company for like 5 years, 2 years, 3 years, even 5 months, and you don't have an opinion, really? You don't have a thing that you can say? Come on, just say something. Be opinionated, have something. The moment you become opinionated, people never even step on you. Even your fellow colleagues whom you work with, the moment you're opinionated, they respect you. They never cross your boundary. But there you are, you don't have an opinion. I don't have any opinion. I cannot say anything. I'm okay. I'm just okay. Whenever the tasks are being assigned, you're just like, I'm okay with any task. Never say that. Hey, by the way, I'm good at this and that. If I can be given that opportunity, talk yourself. Talk yourself. Even when it comes to salaries, please learn how to negotiate yourself. Of course, with confidence and of course with respect. Please, if there is something that you should avoid on this earth, even the Bible tells us, thou shalt never shine before your master. Don't do that. Never outshine your master. Never, ever, ever. Never, ever do that. Because you're going to be fired the next minute. Because if there are people who fear, being challenged, and these so-called bosses and what have you, especially. But if the owner of the company, of course, nobody can fire them. They even like when you're actually that confident because that you understanding, it helps them in growing their businesses. Are we together? Now we go to the next point. After being opinionated, guess what you do next? You actually don't backbite others to your boss. People tend to think like if you become like a snitch, snitch for to your colleagues, you are there, you'll be like, you know what, Jack and John, they're actually planning to resign in this particular month. Oh, by the way, Mercy and Jedida told me that there's no, you think like you're gonna earn yourself forever in that particular company. That is actually a weakness, and your boss can tell. The way you're actually snitching others, that's the same you're snitching this particular company to other competitors. So they already know you are a problem. They know you're a problem, and then you tend to think like you're gonna be in that particular company like forever. Let me put that on the mini. It's actually saying don't snitch, don't snitch, don't snitch your colleagues, don't snitch your colleagues. Are we together? If you snitch your colleagues the name, like, hey, you know what, if I snitch them, then I'm gonna befriend myself with the bosses, then it means that I'm gonna earn myself more days in this particular company. I'm telling you, yo, you're shooting your foot. That is not what you do. Are we together? Don't be a snitch. Be tough. Be tough. By the way, look at the way politicians do. There is this kind of a guy. He's not a president. He's not a deputy president. He's not a vice president. He's not even a minister. It's just a guy who fights for the president like forever. If the guy knows how to shift loyalty, he turns where his bread is being buttered. If it's this particular side, the guy can make noises like forever. He defend that guy forever and ever. The other party looks the way they can actually get this guy because this guy is too loyal in this particular side. So if he can bring his loyalty to our end, bosses look for that. You are loyal. You cannot snitch anybody. You are so much. Very important. The other thing in combination that can actually help you a lot is actually be mysterious with your lifestyle outside job. I'm telling you, if there is a gem that you can keep for your life, is when people don't know you beyond the premises of that particular job. Nobody. You are a mysterious. Nobody knows where you've invested. Nobody knows you watch Good Joseph. Nobody knows where you live. Nobody knows nothing. You're just a mysterious person. I am telling you, what they don't know, they talk about, but what they know, they attack. Just be mysterious. Listen, don't confuse these colleagues of yours with friends. They are not your friends. Actually, they are your competitors. That's a reality. They are your competitors. So you're treating them as friends. If you live in a mysterious lifestyle, the way you live, nobody knows. even about your marital status. You just keep it secret. I'm telling you, you're gonna be respected by every. Sure, they'll never tell you we respect you, but you will see there is always this kind of joke they are throwing in. Let's say you are in a staff room somewhere or seated somewhere, you'll be like, yeah, nah, you usually hide yourself, you don't know nothing. They're kind of trying to poke you and see if they can get something about how you live, who are you, and that's kind of because they don't know anything about you. And when you live in that kind of a mysterious lifestyle, it actually earns you respect. But when you overspeak yourself, you bring everything about your family there, the anniversary is next week. Well, maybe that happens in the Western countries. Listen, here is a whole of a different case. The moment you don't over-explain yourself about yourself in lifestyle, that way you maintain that mysteriousness. It's all about my professionalism and what I do. If it's anything related to job, well and good. If it's about anything to do with my lifestyle, that is none of your business. Just stay put. Of course, don't tell them it's none of your business, but just say it in a very, how can I? So at time to time, there's some bosses who are very weird and spooky. They can even ask you, are you married? If they're ready, they ask you, are you married? I mean, you find like it's not even necessary to, unless maybe it's a job that requires people who are married. You can find a job that truly you need to either get married or not get married or something like that. You find somebody just spooky and weird and asking you this kind of a thing, but the moment you say, hey, you know what, sir, I'm glad you asked that question, by the way, and please, I decide or I choose not to respond to that question with all your due respect. That way you get be respected. Just close that door. Don't get be known about everything about yourself, and that way, see, the moment they know much about you, they even know the weaknesses, and the moment they know you, for example, let's say they know that you have 4 kids, that you are paying their school fees, and you're having a very, very tough time. There are people who are so heartless. They can even add you some more tasks because they know you are at a desperate state and you can't live because you need money than anything else. Are we together? Now that's the point number 5 or number 6. This number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go to the point number 7. This is where now you say observe time and expect a reciprocal of that. Observe time. Don't be this kind of a guy who is explaining himself or herself each and every time. Oh my goodness, I'm late because there was a traffic. Or I'm late because I have a small young kid back at home. Oh, by the way, I'm late because, my husband actually swallowed Viagra by mistake and I have a house lady there. So I mean, don't over-explain yourself all the time. Be the guy who is there, that you try as much as you can. You arrive at that particular, what do you call their expected time and what have you, observed time. Listen, the moment you show the character of your time, observing people time and respecting people time, you are kind of sending them certain energy in terms of vibrations, and you're telling them, just the way I respect your time, expecting mine to be respected. That's a reality. The moment you're showing up or you are leaving your job at that particular time, when it's supposed to be, let's say you guys are supposed to report at 8 a.m. You're there at 7:55, you're settled, you're doing your things, you're wiping your desk, you're getting your day started. By the time bosses shows up, let's say the boss shows up at almost 8, you're there working, whatever. Then at exact time you're closing. See, they actually learn your character. This is a person who actually arrives at the right time and what have you. And when that time comes, well, I know if you're watching me from the Western country, that is not an issue to do with time. Here in Kenya, whoa! You can agree to meet to somebody at 11 a.m. Somebody shows up at 12 p.m. and they actually not unbothered. They tell you, oh, how is everything? Oh, by the way, yeah, we want to meet a whole 1 hour late. And they assume that everything is okay. Especially with me, my friend. If you want to piss me off, dare joke with my time. I'm so strict when it comes, and I don't even care, including my parents. I'm so strict with my time. I don't negotiate with time. That is it. It has to be like that. I try the best as I can. But am I saying I'm perfect? Hell no, I'm not perfect, but I try the best as I can. So the moment you show that, even if you're a boss watching this, yeah, I know it's kind of weird. We are talking about how you can be dominated, but anyway, in case you're watching, also show your guys that you also keep time. Because if you don't show them that you keep time, then it means that they can act. Let's say you guys agree that you're supposed to arrive at work at 8 a.m. Usually shows up at 9 p.m. That's a whole 1 hour before the time. These guys can even show at 10, 10:15, 10:20. You don't know because you are also late. So you can't know that. Anyway, another point is that be decent and have the aura. Be decent. When I say decency, I don't mean you're very expensive. I don't mean you go buy Gucci's and Tiffany and Co. and Versace and no. They are good, they are great if you can afford well and good. I'm simply saying just be decent. Be decent. If you guys, you must do the suit and tie, if you have to do whatever, just be decent. When you're by the way, I don't know whether you know this, when you're decent, you have the confidence. Can you imagine being called on the front there to give a lecture and you have a toe pants, The confidence is not there because you think like as you were walking that aisle, everyone saw you that you had up top pants, yeah? You can just imagine, it's kind of weird anyway. Now, the point is, be decent and have the aura. It's the aura of explaining yourself. Also work on your communication skills. This is very important. Actually, I didn't even list it here. I've actually remembered it offhand. Actually have what you call the proper communication skills. You can express yourself. It's if you guys use English in your office, master that language. If you use French, master that language. If you use vernacular, master that language. Express yourself. You know, let people articulate issues. Be confident. Show that aura. Can you imagine being very decent and you can express yourself very well? You are there, you can't even express yourself the next 2 or 3 minutes. If you're using Swahili, you cannot even use Swahili properly. You're just all over the places. It's like they usually get some people texting me on my inbox. By the way, this is my number out there if you'd like my services in one or the other. Now, you find somebody taking this number and texting me like, yo, ora, yeah, how are ya? Yeah, just be decent. Hello, good morning, good afternoon. This is so and so. I would like it. Just be decent. You know, there's some of the language that is actually in those streets that are not even used in the offices. That's for sure, and that's the reality. I know this may slap the Gen Z in a different way, but it's so nice. Then there is this point, but this one, be very careful with it. Always use reverse psychology to your boss. Okay? For example, let's say your boss is a lady. Just tell them, hi, good morning, madam. Oh my goodness, you look amazing. You look stunning. That dress is nice on you. But don't overdo it. Be very careful. Don't be spooky. Don't be spooky. If it's a gentleman, be like, oh my goodness, how are you? Good morning, boss. I like your tie. So nice. Mwah. It matches with your trousers and shirts and what have you. Just compliment them. They love these compliments. Be like, you know what, boss? Now you are the guy. That's the car. That's a beautiful car. That's a good one. Don't overdo it. Don't make it like each and every day you are doing that, because they might tend to confuse, like you want something from them. You know, well, this one you need to have the highest intelligence. You get what I'm saying? And then let's say bosses comes to you. That's another way of doing the reverse psychology. A boss comes to you and accusing you something. Please don't tell them that they are wrong. Just be like, oh wow, yeah, sure, I get you, boss. Sure, you have a point. I mean, if I was on your shoes, definitely that's how I would view it. First of all, accept what they're telling you. The moment you do that, you massage their ego. Then after telling them, then say, you know what, boss, true, yeah, I totally understand. If I was boss like you and I was in your shoes, definitely I would have said that. So you see, you are now agreeing with them. You're not establishing this kind of defense mechanism. The moment you agree with them, now you counterattack. You tell them, but now, boss, the truth of the matter is this and this happened actually, and that's why you are saying this. But you see, when you agree with them, you're bringing them to your level, and then you're bringing them to the table of agreement. Then you bring the reality and the truth on top of that. But the moment you're told something, then you're denying defense mechanism and what have you. Then they hate when the authority is being questioned. You don't do that. You kind of agree with them in a reverse psychology, and then you do what? You counterattack them with the facts and the reality, because now they are giving you the lending ear at the moment you accept and something like that. This is tricky. Be very careful how you compliment them. Do the reverse psychology. Sometimes you can see they're on an awful shoes. They are off. Just tell them they're great. They just love to hear that. Tell them, wow, that's a very nice shirt. That's a very nice clothing, by the way. Wow, amazing. But don't do it later. That's amazing. Nah, but you know, it's awful. You couldn't even do that. But the moment you do that, you're doing what? You're complimenting them, and you're showing them that indeed they have tried the best as they can. Whew, that is good, Joseph. Now, if you do that, I can tell you, you're going to be in a better position. See you in the next one, guys.